Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Luke Hecker, and I'm the police chief here in the city of Loveland. My spelling on my first name is L-U-K-E, and the spelling on my last name is H-E-C-K-E-R. I hope that you've had an opportunity at this point in time to receive a handout. There are some very distinguished and important men standing around me that we provided their names for you. I want to introduce them. Standing on my far left is Mr. David Moore from the Larimer County Sheriff's Department, and I'm going to introduce him in a more profound way a little bit later on. Next to him is from the Weld County Sheriff's Office is Alan Caldwell. They are involved in this investigation. Standing right next to me is Chief John Michaels from the Windsor, Colorado Police Department. Standing next to me is the special agent in charge of the FBI and this part of the state, Tom Ravel. And standing next to him is Captain Bob Coleman, who is the incident commander assigned to the task force related to this investigation. These men stand with me today because they are the makeup of the leadership of a task force that has been charged with investigating recent shootings here in Larimer and Weld counties. In Loveland, Colorado specifically, last night at about 10:52 p.m., our police officers were dispatched to the intersection of 1st Street and St. Louis. The report that we received was that there was a man down and he was bleeding on the sidewalk. Our police officers arrived. They confirmed that indeed the man was down. They initiated immediately life-saving measures. And unfortunately, after Thompson Valley Ambulance Service and the Loveland Fire and Rescue Team arrived on scene, it was determined that the victim had deceased. The victim in this case is a 65-year-old man, a Loveland resident, by the name of Roger Connolly. Common spelling on Roger, and his spelling on his last name is C-O-N-N-O-L-E.
What? His name is William. Roger is the middle name. William Roger.
Thank you.
Canole.
Our police officers initiated a full-blown call-out with our resources. We had crime scene technicians respond and began an extensive process of processing the crime scene, trying to collect evidence. Those pieces of evidence that have been collected for this investigation are currently being channeled in and around the task force. And because it's an ongoing investigation, I won't be able to answer any of your specific questions about what evidence the department has in custody. The Larimer County Coroner's Office conducted an autopsy on the victim today and determined that the cause of death was a homicide, and he succumbed to a gunshot wound. The FBI wants to reaffirm that they have approved a $10,000 reward for information that leads to the arrest and the conviction of the subject or subjects involved in this horrific crime. We ask that residents copy down the telephone number for Larimer County Crime Stoppers, and I'm going to give that to you now. It's area code 970-221-6868. We would ask that if there are any residents out there that believe that they may have a piece of information or know something or somebody that may be involved, that they contact that Larimer County Crime Stoppers number. Our agency specifically continues to be interested in speaking with anyone that was in the area of 1st and St. Louis last night. Again, anybody with information that might be potentially a witness or that might have some little piece of information, no matter how insignificant, that they might want to share with us, to call that Larimer County Crime Stoppers at 970-221-6868. I want to talk a little bit about the task force. While we don't have any specific information from the shooting that occurred here last night, that this case is related to the shooting events that occurred on April 22nd and May 18th, where citizens were victimized by gunshot wounds and an unknown assailant. There are enough likenesses to this case that we, as an agency, immediately reached out to the task force that is assigned to investigate this and other crimes with us. The men that are standing next to me represent local and federal agencies that are applying an intense, really an unprecedented amount of manpower, technical and forensic resources to this investigation. The investigation is currently headquartered out of the Windsor Police Department, and it is an operations center that is going to run 24 hours a day. I want the community to be aware that we value them right now in being vigilant for us with their eyes and with their ears. There's an opportunity to feel fear because we don't know if this is related to the other shootings, and we don't know if there is somebody or somebodies that is inflicting these crimes in the community, and so there is a tendency for fear. We ask and implore our community members to use good discretion in your public safety. I think it's a good idea, even when you're walking, and when you have an opportunity to double up with somebody in a car, share company with each other in the community to the extent that you possibly can. And channel what might be fear into being productive. Help us look. Keep your eyes open. Pay attention in your neighborhoods. Look for things that may be out of place. And if you believe that you may have some piece of information that could be important, or you can think about something that you've seen that might be important, then contact that Larimer County Crime Stoppers number right away. I want to close by sincerely apologizing for my mispronunciation of William and his last name. I never had the opportunity or the blessing to meet him in person, and I wish I had. I certainly desire to respect and honor this family and assure to the family that we are applying, again, an unprecedented amount of resources towards the successful investigative closure of this case. And an arrest, seizure, ability to lawfully and justly stop this problem. And at this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce you again a little bit more to Mr. David Moore. He is the Public Information Officer from the Larimer County Sheriff's Department. His role from this point forward is going to be very significant to the community and to each of you. As you're aware, this investigation now involves multiple law enforcement agencies in 2 different counties, and we are very interested in providing timely information from a single source. We want to give each of you an opportunity to know who to call and when you can expect the most timely and updated information on this case. Mr. David Moore is going to be assigned as a member to the task force, and he is going to be that conduit of information from the task force out into the community when there's information to release. So with that, David, I'd like to give you an opportunity to address the
investigation. I want to reiterate that there is no positive link between this new investigation and the two other cases being investigated by the task force, but we have not been able to rule out a link either. So that is why the task force is involved in this, and it's pulling all the best resources to help solve this crime as well. So if there are any clarifying questions that I may be able to answer at this time, go ahead.
You said there are enough likenesses. Can you I know you can't talk about the evidence, but you said enough likenesses like the other two. Can you elaborate further?
Unfortunately, that may be revealing evidence, so at this time we cannot release that.
In the previous shootings, the victims were shot twice. Was last night was a 65-year-old? Was he shot twice as well?
Again, that information is part of the evidence in this crime, and we cannot release that for the integrity of the investigation.
Where's simply circumstantial evidence that makes you think there may be a link, even though it also hasn't been ruled out right now, ruled in or out? Or is it physical evidence, ballistics, type of weapon used that leads you to think there could be a link?
Well, Lauren, I think that would be giving out information that is vital to the investigation. So other than saying that there are similarities, that's all we're willing to release at this time.
Are you getting tips on the tip line? It's been in place for about a week. Are you getting tips, or is it pretty?
It's my understanding that tips are still coming in. The volume, I don't exactly know. Having just been appointed to the lead PIO role today, I'm not up to speed on that just yet.
Where's the evidence being tested? Can you, and if you could be as specific as you can, where is that evidence being tested?
I do not know.
Can you give a little bit more information about last night, what the victim was doing when he was shot?
I do not have that information. However, I do feel confident that would be considered evidence in the investigation. We would not release that at this time.
I mean, was he simply walking on the sidewalk? Was he going to the store? I mean, just a little bit of information.
I do not have that.
Do you know if he was walking with or against traffic?
I don't have that information either.
Any plans to raise the reward?
I'm sorry?
The $10,000 reward, any plans to raise it? Is the FBI going to offer any more money?
I'm sure that will be considered, but at this time, the $10,000 reward still stands.
Anybody been questioned in connection with these shootings, sir?
I'm sorry?
Anybody been questioned in connection to these shootings?
That would be considered part of the investigation, and that's not something that we would be willing to release at this time.
This might be a better question for the FBI. And David, I like you a lot. I'm sorry. I have a question for the SAC. This is by some outlets being referred to as a sniper. A lot of people think the DC sniper when they hear that. Can you talk about perhaps the differences in that case versus this case? Should we be calling this a sniper or not?
I wouldn't call it a sniper, and I don't have any information on the DC sniper case. I was not involved in that. I was thousands of miles away, so I think inappropriate for me to comment on this.
But you wouldn't call it a sniper attack?
I don't call it a sniper attack.
Why not?
Getting into the science of sniper training.
Get into it. Tell us. People are afraid that it's a sniper. Can you tell them why they should be afraid of that?
It's a shooting attack. Okay. Thank you.
Well, okay, folks, I'll take one more question, and I think the reason that we're going to say this a lot, and you're going to hear this a lot, that we do not want to release information because it is considered evidence in the investigation. And the last thing we want to do is do anything that could potentially hinder the investigation and maybe make it that much more difficult to find the person who is persons who are responsible for this. Yes, Lauren.
Have you received information from tips or in the community that the person doing this may be ex-military? And can you tell us what you found in investigating that information?
I'm not specifically aware of any tips regarding that, but again, I'm not privy to all the tip information that's coming in. So, guys, we're going to wrap it up, and there are two folks here who are going to pass out some information to you that has a lot of the information that we discussed today. My contact information is on there, and again, I am the lead public information officer for the task force. There's multiple ways of contacting me on that form, so please reach out to me.